No one noticed him at first. He sat alone at the corner table of the busiest restaurant in the city, wearing a plain gray jacket, shoulders slightly hunched, hands folded like he was trying not to take up space. The kind of place where laughter bounced off glass walls, plates clattered, and money spoke louder than manners. But tonight something felt off. One by one, waitresses approached his table, and just as quickly walked away. Some frowned, some whispered to the manager. One even shook her head and said, "I can't serve him." From a distance it looked like arrogance, like he was rude, demanding, difficult. The truth was quieter. The man's name was Daniel Hart, and he was a billionaire CEO who hadn't eaten a proper meal in 3 days. Not because he couldn't afford it, but because grief has a way of stealing your appetite and your voice at the same time. Earlier that week, Daniel had buried his younger sister, the only family he had left. The woman who used to remind him to slow down, to eat real food, to smile at strangers. After the funeral, he didn't go back to his penthouse or his office. He walked until his feet hurt and his thoughts went numb, and somehow he ended up here. But when the first waitress approached, his hands began to shake. Words wouldn't come out right. His eyes stayed down. He looked distant, cold, unapproachable, so they left him alone until she arrived. Her name was Lily. She was new, still learning the rhythm of the place, still believed people were more than their first impression. She noticed him sitting there untouched. No menu opened, no phone out, no impatience, just stillness. Instead of asking what he wanted, she gently placed a glass of water in front of him. "You don't have to order yet," she said softly. "But you shouldn't be thirsty." Daniel looked up, surprised. Their eyes met for the first time. "Thank you," he whispered. His voice cracked on the second word. That was all it took. Lily didn't rush. She didn't ask questions. She didn't judge the silence. She came back a few minutes later with warm bread. "On the house, my grandmother says people open up when their hands are warm," she said with a small smile. Something inside Daniel broke, not loudly, not dramatically, just enough to let the truth breathe. "I lost someone," he said quietly. Lily nodded. "I know, you don't," he replied. "I do," she said. "Not your person, but the feeling." She pulled up a chair, not to sit, just to lower herself to his eye level. "For what it's worth," she added, "you're not invisible here." For the first time that night, Daniel exhaled. He ordered soup, then a sandwich, then tea, not because he was hungry, but because someone cared enough to wait. Around them, the restaurant kept moving. No one noticed the shift, but something important was happening at that table. Before leaving, Daniel asked for the bill. Lily handed it to him, then hesitated. "I covered the bread," she said quickly. "I hope that's okay." Daniel looked at her, eyes full. "It's more than okay." He left a tip so large Lily thought it was a mistake. She chased him outside. "Sir, I think you," he smiled. "A real one this time." "No," he said gently. "I think I finally got something right." The next morning, Lily was called into the manager's office. Her heart raced. She was sure she'd broken some rule. Instead, the owner was standing there along with Daniel, in a tailored suit. Calm, commanding, the room went silent. "This," Daniel said, gesturing to Lily, "is the only person who treated me like a human being last night." He bought the restaurant that afternoon, but that wasn't the twist. The real surprise came weeks later, when Lily received a letter. Daniel had started a foundation in his sister's name, one that funded education and health care for service workers. Lily's tuition was paid in full. So were hundreds of others. At the bottom of the letter, one line stood out. "Kindness is the only investment that never loses value." Lily still serves tables by choice. Daniel still visits that corner booth whenever the world feels too heavy, and every time he's reminded of the night no waitress could serve him until one chose to see him, because this story reminds us that kindness still matters. Not because it changes who we serve, but because it reminds us who we are. Sometimes the smallest act of compassion becomes the moment someone finds their way back to life.